VAR mayhem at Old Trafford. How United's victory over Chelsea was overshadowed by refereeing chaos. Welcome to Unite United News, your most trusted source for Manchester United match reports and analysis. When controversy strikes at Old Trafford and big decisions shape the outcome of crucial games, you need reliable coverage that breaks down what really happened. We've been bringing you honest, detailed match analysis for years, and today we're covering one of the most controversial games of the season. The big question: did VAR rob fans of a fair contest in United's crucial win over Chelsea? Saturday evening at Old Trafford was supposed to be about Manchester United proving they could beat a top opponent and take a big step toward their season goals. Instead, it became another example of how video assistant referee technology is creating more controversy than clarity in modern football. United did manage to beat Chelsea 2-1 in a result that could be crucial for their top four hopes. But the real story wasn't the goals from Marcus Rashford and Bruno Fernandes, or even Raheem Sterling's reply for Chelsea. The story was a series of VAR decisions that left players, managers, and fans from both teams questioning what they had just witnessed. Were the officials right to send off Robert Sanchez for his challenge on Bryan Mbeumo? Was Casemiro's red card one of the worst decisions of the season? And did VAR get it wrong when they disallowed Benjamin Sesko's goal? These questions dominated the post-match discussion and highlighted once again how VAR is changing football in ways nobody expected. The early explosion: Sanchez sees red. The drama started early at Old Trafford, setting the tone for what would become one of the most controversial games of the Premier League season. The challenge that changed everything. Just 23 minutes into the game, Chelsea goalkeeper Robert Sanchez made a decision that would define the entire match. Bryan Mbeumo was through on goal, running onto a perfectly weighted pass from his teammates. Sanchez came charging out of his penalty area like a man possessed. Instead of staying in his box and forcing Mbeumo to try and round him, the Spanish goalkeeper decided to take matters into his own hands. The collision was inevitable and brutal. Sanchez clattered into Mbeumo with a challenge that had no regard for the United forward's safety. It was the kind of reckless, dangerous play that referees are trained to punish severely. Taylor's quick decision. Referee Peter Banks didn't hesitate. He reached for his red card immediately, showing Sanchez the way to the tunnel without a moment's doubt. From Banks' position, it was clear that this was a dangerous challenge that deserved the ultimate punishment. The Chelsea players protested, as they always do in these situations. But their arguments looked half-hearted because deep down, they knew their goalkeeper had made a terrible mistake. VAR backs the referee. The video assistant referee checked the incident, as they do with all red card decisions. The replays showed exactly what Banks had seen in real time: a reckless challenge that put Mbeumo at risk of serious injury. VAR quickly confirmed the red card decision. This was one of the clearer calls of the afternoon, though it would be overshadowed by the controversies that followed. Chelsea's forced reorganization. Losing your goalkeeper after just 23 minutes forces massive changes to your game plan. Chelsea manager had to sacrifice an outfield player to bring on the backup keeper, completely disrupting his tactical setup. This early red card gave United a huge advantage for more than two-thirds of the match. Playing against 10 men should have made the game much easier for the home team. The Casemiro's controversy that left everyone stunned. If the Sanchez red card was controversial but understandable, what happened to Casemiro's in the second half was something else entirely. This decision will be talked about for weeks and might go down as one of the worst VAR calls of the season. The foul that wasn't. In the second half, with United leading and looking comfortable against 10-man Chelsea, Casemiro's went into a challenge with Chelsea midfielder Andre Santos. To everyone watching in the stadium and on television, it looked like a perfectly normal football tackle. Casemiro's timed his challenge well, won the ball cleanly, and made minimal contact with the Chelsea player. Santos went down, but it looked like the kind of fall that happens dozens of times in every football match. Taylor's shocking decision. But referee Peter Banks saw something different. He immediately reached for his red card, showing Casemiro's a straight red for what he believed was a dangerous challenge. The Old Trafford crowd couldn't believe what they were seeing. The United players surrounded Banks, clearly baffled by his decision. Even some Chelsea players looked surprised by the severity of the punishment. VAR's incomprehensible decision. This is where the controversy really exploded. Everyone expected VAR to quickly overturn Taylor's decision. The replays were crystal clear. Casemiro had won the ball cleanly with no dangerous contact. But VAR took their time reviewing the incident, and when they finally made their decision, they upheld the red card. This left everyone watching completely baffled about what constitutes a sending-off offense in modern football. The ghost foul that never was. What made this decision so controversial was that replays showed there was barely any contact between Casemiro and Santos. The United midfielder won the ball first, and any contact with the Chelsea player was minimal and certainly not dangerous. This became known as a ghost foul, a decision where the referee sees something that simply didn't happen. The fact that VAR backed up this phantom decision made it even more frustrating for United fans. Amorim's visible anger. United manager Ruben Amorim couldn't hide his frustration on the touchline. He was animated in his protests, clearly unable to understand how such an obvious mistake could be made and then confirmed by video technology. This was the kind of decision that makes managers question the entire VAR system. When clear and obvious errors aren't being corrected, what's the point of having the technology? The disallowed goal debate. As if two controversial red cards weren't enough, VAR had one more major intervention that left United fans feeling robbed. Sesko's moment of glory. Benjamin Sesko thought he had scored his first goal for Manchester United when he latched onto a cross from Amad Diallo. The young striker's finish was clinical, and the Old Trafford crowd erupted in celebration. For a player who has struggled to find the net since his big money move to United, this looked like the moment when his career at the club would really begin. The VAR review. But the celebrations were cut short when VAR began their review of the goal. They were checking whether the ball had gone out of play before Diallo delivered his cross. This is exactly the kind of marginal decision that VAR was supposed to help with. In real time, it's almost impossible for referees and linesmen to make these calls with complete accuracy. The controversial decision. After what felt like an eternity, VAR ruled that the ball had indeed gone out of play before Diallo's cross. The goal was disallowed, and Sesko's celebration turned to disappointment. But the replays shown to television viewers told a different story. The ball appeared to be sitting right on the line, not fully over it. In football, the entire ball needs to cross the entire line for it to be out of play. The marginal call that frustrated everyone. This was one of those decisions where different angles seemed to show different things. Some replays suggested the ball was out. Others suggested it was still in play. What frustrated United fans was that when decisions are this close, surely the benefit of the doubt should go to the attacking team. Instead, VAR chose to disallow what looked like a perfectly good goal. Amorim and fans left fuming. The combination of these controversial decisions left everyone connected with Manchester United feeling like they had been cheated by the officials. The manager's post-match fury. Ruben Amorim didn't hold back in his post-match comments. He slammed what he called the inconsistency of VAR decisions throughout the game. The Portuguese manager pointed out that VAR seemed to make different standards apply to different incidents. How could they not overturn the clearly wrong Casemiro red card while disallowing a goal that looked legitimate? Fan reaction on social media. United fans took to social media to express their anger about the officiating. The word "robbed" was trending on Twitter as supporters vented their frustration about the decisions. Many fans pointed out that United could have won the game much more comfortably if the officials had made the right calls. Instead of cruising to victory, they had to battle with 10 men for much of the second half. The bigger picture frustration. What made United fans even angrier was the feeling that these kinds of decisions happen to their team regularly. There's a perception that United don't get the benefit of close calls, and this game seemed to confirm that belief. How United still found a way to win. Despite all the controversy and poor officiating decisions, United managed to secure a crucial 2-1 victory that could be huge for their season. Rashford breaks the deadlock. Marcus Rashford gave United the lead with a well-taken goal that showed glimpses of his best form. The England forward has faced criticism this season, but this goal demonstrated why he remains such an important player for the club. Rashford's pace and movement in the penalty area created the opportunity, and his finish was clinical when it mattered most. Fernandes doubles the advantage. Bruno Fernandes added United's second goal with the kind of strike that has made him such a fan favorite at Old Trafford. The Portuguese midfielder's ability to find the net from midfield is one of his greatest strengths. This goal gave United what should have been a comfortable cushion, especially against 10-man Chelsea. Sterling's consolation. Raheem Sterling pulled one back for Chelsea with a well-worked goal that showed the Blues weren't going to give up despite being reduced to 10 men. Sterling's pace and experience in big games made him a constant threat throughout the match, and his goal added some late tension to what should have been a straightforward finish for United. United hold on for crucial win. Despite the drama and controversy, United managed to see out the victory. This win could prove to be crucial in their battle for Champions League qualification. The 3 points moved United closer to their top 4 target and gave them momentum going into the next phase of the season. The VAR system under fire again. This game highlighted once again the problems with VAR technology in the Premier League. Inconsistent application. The most frustrating aspect for fans is the inconsistency in how VAR is applied. Some decisions are reviewed extensively while others are barely looked at. The Casemiro red card should have been quickly overturned, but instead VAR backed up a clearly wrong decision. Meanwhile, other incidents that deserved review were ignored, taking too long. Another major complaint is how long VAR reviews are taking. Fans in the stadium don't know what's being reviewed or why decisions are taking so long. This kills the atmosphere and spontaneity that makes football special. When you can't celebrate a goal because you're waiting for VAR to review it, something is wrong with the system. Undermining referees. VAR was supposed to help referees make better decisions, but instead it often makes them look worse. When obvious mistakes aren't corrected, it raises questions about the competence of everyone involved. Referees like Anthony Taylor are experienced professionals, but the VAR system is making their jobs harder rather than easier. The wider impact on the game. These controversial decisions don't just affect one match, they have broader implications for football as a whole. Fan frustration growing. Supporters are becoming increasingly frustrated with VAR technology. What was supposed to make football fairer has instead created new types of controversy. Many fans now spend more time arguing about VAR decisions than discussing the actual football. This can't be what anyone wanted when the technology was introduced. Player and manager confusion. Players and managers don't understand how decisions are being made. When clear mistakes aren't corrected, it becomes impossible to know what constitutes a foul or whether a goal will stand. This uncertainty is affecting how the game is played and managed. The technology debate. There's a growing debate about whether VAR is actually making football better or worse. Some argue that any system that creates this much controversy should be scrapped. Others believe that VAR just needs to be improved rather than abandoned entirely. What this means for United's season. Despite all the controversy, the most important thing for United is that they won the game and collected 3 crucial points. Top 4 hopes boosted. This victory keeps United in contention for Champions League qualification. Every point matters in the race for 4th place, and beating a direct rival like Chelsea is huge. The win also gives United confidence that they can compete with the top teams when everything clicks. Momentum building. After a difficult start to the season, United are starting to show signs of the team that Amorim wants to build. Results like this can be the foundation for a strong finish to the campaign. Squad depth tested. The red card to Casemiro will test United's squad depth in upcoming games. Other players will need to step up and show they can contribute when key players are unavailable. Looking ahead, what needs to change? This game highlighted several issues that need to be addressed in football. VAR reform needed. The VAR system clearly needs major reforms. Whether that means changing how decisions are made or training officials better, something has to change. Fans deserve better than the confusion and controversy that dominated this game. Referee standards. There also needs to be a discussion about referee standards and training. When experienced officials like Peter Banks make such obvious errors, it raises questions about the whole system. Communication improvements. Better communication between officials and fans would help reduce frustration. When people don't understand why decisions are being made, speculation and anger fill the void. The players who stood out. Despite all the controversy, several players deserve credit for their performances in difficult circumstances. Mbeumo's impact. Bryan Mbeumo was excellent throughout the game, causing Chelsea problems with his pace and movement. His role in winning the penalty that led to Sanchez's red card was crucial. Fernandes' leadership. Bruno Fernandes showed why he's United's captain with another influential performance. His goal and overall play demonstrated the leadership the team needs. Rashford's return to form. Marcus Rashford's goal was a reminder of his quality when he's at his best. United need him to maintain this level if they're going to achieve their objectives this season. Conclusion. A win overshadowed by controversy. Manchester United's 2-1 victory over Chelsea should have been a cause for celebration. It was a crucial win against a direct rival that boosted their Champions League hopes and showed signs of progress under Ruben Amorim. Instead, the game will be remembered for all the wrong reasons. The controversial VAR decisions that dominated the match have once again highlighted the problems with video technology in football. The red card for Robert Sanchez was probably the right decision, even if it changed the game dramatically. But the red card for Casemiro was one of the worst VAR calls of the season, a ghost foul that should never have been given and definitely should have been overturned. The disallowed goal for Benjamin Sesko added to the controversy, with replays suggesting the ball was still in play when Amad Diallo delivered his cross. These marginal decisions are exactly what VAR was supposed to clear up, but instead they created more confusion. Ruben Amorim's post-match anger was completely understandable. How can managers and players adapt to a system where clear mistakes aren't corrected and legitimate goals are disallowed for marginal reasons? United fans have every right to feel frustrated by the officiating. Their team could have won much more comfortably if the right decisions had been made. Instead, they had to endure a nervous finish with 10 men after Casemiro's unjust dismissal. But credit must go to United for finding a way to win despite all the adversity. The goals from Marcus Rashford and Bruno Fernandes showed the quality that exists in this squad, while the team's ability to hold on under pressure demonstrated the character that Amorim is trying to build. The 3 points are what matter most for United's season. This victory keeps them in contention for Champions League qualification and gives them momentum going into the crucial final months of the campaign. However, the wider issues raised by this game can't be ignored. VAR was supposed to make football fairer and reduce controversial decisions. Instead, it's creating new types of controversy and leaving everyone more confused than ever. Something needs to change with how video technology is implemented in football. Whether that means reforming the system, better training for officials, or improved communication with fans, the status quo isn't working. At Unite United News, we'll continue following United's progress and holding officials accountable when they make mistakes that affect our club. When controversial decisions dominate games like this, you need coverage that isn't afraid to call out what went wrong. This victory over Chelsea could be a turning point in United's season, but it will be remembered as much for the VAR chaos as for the football. That's not what anyone wanted when video technology was introduced, and it's not sustainable for the future of the game. Keep checking back with Unite United News for all the latest analysis of United's performances and the ongoing VAR debate that's changing football forever. When controversy strikes at Old Trafford, we'll be here to give you the honest coverage you deserve.